Effichbursisteromix. Nailed it. So I had to play the tutorial because I haven't actually touched this game since playing it at the summit. It's a very, very quick tutorial, though.
Use the attack command. Left click on the ground to confirm the attack. Select the build. Build the foundry. Starting foundry.
I guess you
These
can...
units will deal damage in an area. Great for concentrated enemies.
Oh, you guys can just listen to them, I guess.
Use the attack command to initiate. Left click on the ground to confirm the attack. Drop into the build. Flying units can only be attacked by anti-air. Hunters should help clear the sky. Use the attack command to left click on the ground to confirm the attack.
Not my crabs.
Drop into build. Always look for a chance to field more units. Build up your army and get ready to hit that enemy base. Attack the enemy. Left click on the ground.
I feel like I already am.
Confirm. Use the attack command to
Indeed.
initiate an attack.
I'm winning, guys.
Base. Taking out that enemy base will limit their resource generation and give you an advantage.
Literally, what can happen in the games is like exactly what these crabs are doing. You can just try and like base trade. Race towards killing the opponent's base. It's actually kind of a common strategy, to be honest. I have no idea what they've changed between the summit and the beta. I wasn't playing in the alpha.
I've seen great battle.
How's the audio balance? Practice bot. Crabbies.
Proper showstopper. CR3. I get with. Surround them.
I think they just included more voice lines. I don't remember these guys talking, actually.
Feeling you got us. Hit on the side eye. Grab selected.
Oh, right. I had to... I have to change the hotkeys.
Click, click, click. Are we supposed to attack?
Which actually ended up breaking the...
No, that's too far.
Ended up breaking the game a little bit in the summit. But I'm not used to the tilde or the tab. Oh my goodness, he's winning the crab war. Game looks kind of dumb. Oh, we'll talk about it. Game could be a smudge louder.
Resource base warmed up and working.
Now I'm going to show him what's up. Now they got an expansion
Enemy
online.
is building a resource base.
No way. Copying me. Oh, you mean mine? Yeah, you're right. Mine's a little loud. Hopefully that doesn't break anything.
Units reporting damage.
Fun.
Starting foundry.
Pressing 4 instead of tab.
Units in combat.
I can change the hotkey now. There we go. Hotkey. 4 has been removed from control group 4. I'm probably not going to use control.
course. Cutting away. Feeling crabby. Melee combat not ready. Eat crabs.
Oh, wait. No, that was an anti-ground unit. Whoopsie. I don't need that. Then you can just attack the workers with crabs.
Foundry ready.
You got this.
Kill these guys off and just attack.
Units engaged.
Crab select.
But they didn't. Oh.
Units under attack.
What?
Click, click, click. Scuttle and muscle.
Are you sure?
I don't know if they changed something, but
We can do it.
I feel like you guys could literally see on my screen. I tried to target fire the workers, and every time I did, it would be like, well, there's units in front of us. I'm gonna attack that instead. Fuck. Did they get and snub the grub? Oh, they would have always given me a beta key.
Are we ready?
Everyone who went to the summit gets one.
Are they here?
Give him the claw.
And they were very nice about me not really enjoying the game too much, but... I don't have any beta keys to give away, because I haven't been paying attention to anything, so that's pretty fair. Other streamers have a bunch of beta keys they were given.
Hunter selected. Better get going.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to get, like, this healthy guy to... And I'm literally clicking on the worker. And then he goes back to attack a unit. It's like it's trying to discourage... Like, is this intentional? Are they trying to discourage you from just peeling off to attack the workers?
Are we supposed to attack?
Well, now I'm winning, so it's fine. Ah, okay. I don't know if that's intentional or not.
Proper showstopper.
I feel like the music is new, too.
I can swing. Cutting away.
Oh my god. They all get distracted by a single unit popping out. What the fuck, guys? Do not do... What? No, this is not good AI. What have they done? Like, I'm literally trying to tell everyone to, like, only attack the core, and then they still derp. They still derp. They even went for the workers over the core. This time. What?
Of course.
Is this their solution to not just, like, base trading and worker killing? Because that's fucking stupid if it is. I hope it's a bug. Actually gonna try and go to the Battle Aces Discord. Bug reports. Both players have same color. Mouse trapped. No. Feedback forum. Types manufactured. I don't see anyone reporting the AI. And that makes me very confused. Okay. Well, I guess we'll try it in a game. If playing this game, we never again be annoyed that Ian's prefer to attack Planetary Fortress. Look, at least with the tank, that makes sense. The tank, it, you know, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's that one thing about the tank in siege mode that's kind of annoying. Is that even if you don't tell it to kill a planetary, it will just focus the planetary. Other units come. But at least it's like one unit in one interaction, in one matchup. PvT only. Yeah, and the tank will, if you tell the tank to attack out something else, it will follow your directions. Where these units, I mean, basically just didn't. Enable focus wait, what? Wait, what? Oh my god, this is like when StarCraft 2 decided to fucking make it so that you can't click on enemy buildings and units as defaults. What the fuck? Why has no one learned any lessons from StarCraft? I swear to god. What is this? What is this? You have to enable focus fire? What? To fucking handhold. It's like, it's not even hand-holding, you know? Hand-holding means that you can help them in the process of learning something. I don't even know what the equivalent of this is. This is if they never know this setting exists. They never even know focus fire is available. That's not even hand-holding. That's like, I don't know. You're like trying to teach a kid to cook, like boil a hot dog. You know, something very simple so that when you're gone, they can do it themselves. And instead of like guiding them and being like, you know, be careful, the metal's gonna get hot, and you know, make sure you don't get splashed by the plop when the hot dog goes in. You're like, look the other way, Junior. Listen to the sounds. And then you'll figure it out. No, don't look. No peeking. Like, what the fuck is this shit? It's actually very disturbing. All right. I swear I did not come into this prepared to just totally shit on the game. I swear to God. Truly a game for people who play Footman Frenzy with A move only. 100%. It's so stupid. I cannot believe they did that. You know, do you know that I don't think anyone in the world has ever appreciated the fact that enemy unit selection is off by default? I've never heard someone be like, yeah, I would have been really confused about it. And focus fire is one of like the first things you ever learn in an RTS. I swear to God. You're going to be listening to YouTube tutorials. You're going to be listening to commentary. You're going to be watching your friend focus fire something, and you're going to be like, huh, why can't I do that? I really don't understand that. No, that's like a very temporary hurdle. Like, I know why they did it. I know that they're thinking that there's some newbie out there who like clicks on a Zergling instead of their Marine and is like, oh! Ah! Ah! But it's a very temporary thing, even with as difficult as RTS games are. The negative impacts, I think, outweighs any amount of like potential person who did click on a Zergling instead of their Marine and decided, that's it! I'm not playing StarCraft anymore. I think the negative impact is way bigger. Because what happens when you introduce people to an RTS for the first time? Like, I introduced my friend to StarCraft 2, and I had zero idea that the actual tutorial games, like the, like practice games, not campaign, not tutorial, they started with rocks blocking the main ramp. I had no idea. So the first thing I tell her to do, I was like, well, a good habit is to send out a unit, you know, you want to see what your opponent's doing. And then she reports back to me and she's like, I couldn't. I have no idea why there was rocks. I don't understand. And then I just had to be like, oh my God, why would they do that? I'm facing a real person, by the way, so I'm kind of just bullying them. So to answer your first question, yes, I have tried to teach StarCraft to newer players. I taught it to my mom. Literally, I streamed my mom learning StarCraft 2. She played some of the campaign. And the Frost Giant people actually messaged me saying thank you for doing that because it was a great way for us to learn what we did wrong in the tutorial.
Victory!
I made crabs, guys. Oh, I don't have all of the units right off the bat. Oh. Sense. Until you play a certain number of multiplayer games. Yeah.
What's all this about? This way.
I mean, you can agree with their idea, Rooted Jin, but then it's just we fundamentally disagree. I firmly believe that the way that people get into a game, they're like, it's interesting, let me play it, and then if they like it, just because they like the aesthetic, they like the gameplay, they like the esport, they have a lot of friends who play it, whatever it is, they're in today, 2024. One of the first things that you do if you actually enjoy a game is generally you go and look up, like, people playing it. You play with your friends, you watch other people play it, you watch the esport maybe, you definitely go on YouTube and you look up tutorials, and you know how many of those circumstances include the people specifying, oh, hey, wait, like, are you sure you can click on other units?
Melee combat not ready.
Are you sure you can focus fire? Like, no one's going to continue introducing the game via that way to beginners. I mean, I'm not even sure the Bronze to GM series ever include, like, hey, make sure in the setting. They actually might. They probably should. But it's kind of silly when, the vernacular is very quickly going to be understood, or it's gonna be used for you. Like, you are going to get yourself into a game and you are going to learn a lot of the acronyms and the phrases that, yeah, I've never played RTS before. I guess you'd never heard of focus fire? Maybe. I mean, MOBAs have it, so I don't know about that. Actually, all games have focus fire. I don't know why I said that. Like, all games have focus fire. And I highly doubt that, again, the friends you play with, the YouTube videos that you look up, the casual watching as a spectator, I really don't think you're going to realize that you don't have an option clicked. No, it 100% will be a conversation among friends, Like, imagine 4 people come in to play a team game, and one of them goes to scout because they're told to. The worst player is like, okay, I've got a probe in here. I'm doing well, thanks, guys. Like, look, I'm doing something helpful. And then the teammates are like, hey, can you, like, check what that was? Did you click on the building to see if it was a Twilight Council? And they're like, what? What? I can't do that. And then the teammates have to be like, oh, okay, hold on. Like, maybe there's a setting somewhere. Yeah, Mike Sixers. I actually did make I made, like, a beginning to StarCraft 2 video where I did explain some of the settings. Because, like, there's definitely settings that, like, you don't need to show new players. Like, experience points, I actually feel like maybe you don't need to put on. I don't remember if that's default or not. But it's actually, like, a really high-level thing to have experience points on, because you can see it in the Fog of War. Okay. On. That. Okay. They are not tier 2 and tier 3 units, actually. They are just different types of units. So these are, if you're talking about this, then you're right. But these locked ones, this guy's, like, totally tier 1. He's the, super fast gunner. I'm in a proving ground right now. So I got my airship, my heavy ballista, my bulwark. Eventually I'll get 2v2 custom games, free unit rotation. You have Blinky Boys, Gunbot, that's what it's called. Oh, I have credits. Oh, well, that makes sense. So, I was reading, so I was trying to find the Battle Aces subreddit to see if they had one, and they do now. Not too popular yet, but in my Google Foo, I just literally type like Reddit battle aces, you know? Pretty easy. And well, I did find the,
Resource base warmed up and working.
I did find the Reddit. At first, I just looked at like /gaming and /real-time
Enemy is
strategy.
building a resource base.
No, that's too far. What's all this about?
And I was reading the comments on their impression of the game when it was announced a couple of weeks ago. And I think some of them made very good points. I think some of them were probably just haters because
Crabs attacking. Melee
first
combat
impressions
ready.
matter, I suppose.
We are
But some of them actually had like thought out reasons why they didn't really like the look of this game that paired up with mine, basically.
in that face.
Um,
Proper showstopper. I can swim. One leg out of this way.
and one of the ones was, yeah, like, it's great that you have different units, but I think thematic factions in RTS games are actually really important.
Skittering. Break a leg.
Units under attack.
Which I would 100% agree with. You know, so just having skins doesn't really do enough for me.
Crabs.
Units starting foundry.
I can swim. Get us in base.
Units in combat.
Supposed to attack. You got us. Crack a leg. Crab selected. Cut new and click click.
And I do think that's actually something that's really missing. I've already talked at length about how I think their lack of like campaign and storytelling options is going to directly hurt their ability to connect with casuals. Like the game itself may be casual oriented,
Units under attack.
which I'll actually discuss in a second here when I win this game apparently. But the actual way of hooking in people to a purely multiplayer game has a lot to do with aesthetic, as well as, you know, obviously like name brand recognition. If Riot makes a game, everyone is paying attention, right? When a totally unknown developer makes a game, they got to be pretty appealing. Well, this poor guy, not paying attention to his workers.
Crabs attacking. Proper showstopper.
Foundry ready.
What if they want to break the whole Zerg streamer thing? Oh, you mean like,
Monetary support.
you know, people who only watch their race.
I hope Safe House was everything you wanted.
Oh my god. Talk-to-speech actually worked. Thank you, Mr. Chaz, for the 20 bucks.
Units reporting
Excited to see
damage.
Battle Aces. I hope Safe House was everything you wanted. Yeah, pretty much, honestly. It actually went really smoothly. I feel like there could have been a billion more things that could have gone wrong. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. That's one of the reasons that I actually advise against additional races when we talk to the developers of RTS. Like, it's not... Like, there's, like, a certain point with the amount of factions, like Age of Empires, where people, I think, stop identifying very strongly with their faction. They might still prefer factions, but it's not, like, a core part of their identity. And then there's, you know, too little factions, which is just, you know, guaranteed mirror matchups all the time. And then there's something in the
Every
middle,
win is earned.
which, I mean, could be 4. I'm obviously biased for 3 because I play StarCraft. But, you know, trying to actually get rid of the, get rid of that bias so that when a ZVZ finals happens or a ZVT finals happens, you don't have a bunch of Protoss players who feel totally unnoticed. Yeah, Warcraft 3 shows that 4 worked kind of, though, right? Because for most of its competitive, like when Moon was playing or whatever, right? Like I'm thinking at the World Cyber Games and stuff. It wasn't one race actually just not played much at all. Like, one of the races was considered just really bad. Was it Undead? Night Elf was played. Human was played. And Orc was played, because Grubby played. Yeah, it was Undead, right? Undead didn't really have a space. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Todd played Human. Moon played Night Elf. Grubby played Orc. Well, right, Barry, of course. But, you know, and it's hard to say that now, as they've actually balanced it, that it is something that works, because the Warcraft scene is frankly just too small to really be a great sample. But it's the only one we have. Yeah. And yeah, for Isa House, I think you summed it up very nicely. And, you know, there's obviously downsides and upsides of actually having a strong identity. Back to my original point about this game, I think having that strong identity, just looking and being like, that's the race I'm going to be, and I'm going to eventually get a tattoo of the race of the faction, right? That keeps people connected to StarCraft. It makes it iconic. Whereas, you know, Age of Empires, I'm sure, has some of that going on here. I'm sure that someone out there, Age of Empires, you know, loves the Japanese faction. But yeah, they might not identify as much. They might not have such fond memories of the Age of Empire factions, because there's also not really a campaign with it. But then they don't really get pissed if one of them isn't played too often or is kind of imbalanced or whatever it is. People might identify with these units, but it's really hard to say, because then you are also inevitably going to have decks that are better than others. You know, one of the things that they're hoping for in this game is that any complexity that might be missing because the macro mechanics have been lessened may be made up for by deck building. And I just don't think that's actually going to happen. I'm a big pessimist, I suppose. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have like 4 decks that are just kind of agreed upon to be the best and most versatile. And then every once in a while, you have some crazy guy make a deck that's not supposed to work, and it does. And that'll be kind of cool. But for the most part, you're going to have the same exact thing that happens in every game that's ever become competitive in the entire world. No matter how much you try and set out to make a game that's freedom for everyone. Everyone can do anything. That's been touted in a lot of games. I just think it's possible. I think it's actually impossible. I think the way that you can make, to a certain level, anything work is actually the mechanical difficulty that's put into the game that we like, which is StarCraft. You know, because I can get to masters based off my mechanical skill by doing really stupid shit. And so I get to have fun being at a pretty high level doing stupid shit. But there's a cap. Like, I can't actually do, you know, supreme cheese to GMs and win all the time. Whatever you're playing isn't strong enough just to swallow that pill. Hearthstone gets pretty mono deck meta. The convergent evolution of carcinization, we will eventually be able to relate to the crab race. Crabs are already the most popular, so. Game has manufacturers, which determine at least part of the general appearance. Yeah, probably. They'll probably add, like, decals and colors and stuff to particular, characters that end up being your commanders. I could see that. It's still just robots, though. And I think no matter how much color and personality you try to add to a crab robot, it will still be a crab robot. And even if they manage to make the designs of the units really individual and interesting and great, whatever, you're still going to not have that connection that you would if there was an actual story. Being like Pokemon's competitive scene where you end up with formats based on where units Pokemon on the tier list? Probably. Because it's already a decent amount of units, and they're definitely going to be adding more. Masked Queens famously made that point, yeah. How are you liking it? I mean, I think it's a good game for what it is. I think it's just very shallow. Hi, Apollo. Apollo's. Crabot is going to have to always look like a Crabot for readability. True, you can only do so much. Like a micro trainer so we can get better at StarCraft 2. So, the other thing that I want to talk about, which I can do while playing a game, I guess. You know, if I lose, I don't care. So far, I'm winning, but... It'd be better if Rainer and Kerrigan were crab robots. I mean, I'm down to see someone make a modified campaign with that. It actually sounds hilarious. But anyway, so
Resource base warmed up and working.
So the thing I'm about to talk about, I think, would be better exemplified with the gun bots, but I don't have them unlocked yet, so I'm going to use crabs. And it's been what I've been doing to win games. And you've seen some of the reactions of my opponents, including one who seemingly just lost all
Enemy is
hope.
building a resource base.
That guy didn't actually AFK because he was moving some units. But he apparently just lost almost all hope as he realized I was trying to out-multitask him. And I think that actually, just because you reduce the macro mechanics, which again, I don't actually think is the right way to try and incentivize casuals to play RTS, but whatever, you actually still have a very fast-paced game that relies a lot on APM and multitasking, which I would say is actually where people find, you know, most of their complaints. I would say.
In combat.
You know, like people don't like the feeling of just not being able to respond to 3 different drops in StarCraft 2, and then they're like, well, I can't play StarCraft 2 because I'm not fast enough. And you know, you can explain to them like there's other things you could do. You know, there's plenty of GMs who have like 100 APM. But it's one of the things that people really don't like about StarCraft. And this actually just makes it so that the entire game is actually multitasking and trying to outpace your opponent. Which I actually think people will get very frustrated with. It's also instantaneous action, with the idea being that the games are so short that each game has less value. You're not sitting there getting, you know, ladder anxiety because who cares? I lost a game, it's 10 minutes long, I don't care. But
Starting foundry.
You are also asking people to go like 100 miles per hour right off the bat. And then it doesn't calm down. It never calms down.
Under attack. Resource base warmed
So I actually think this could actually be very stressful to casual gamers. And if they like it, they like it. I mean, I'm not saying that people won't like it. I'm just saying that I actually don't think that people are hitting the casual sphere like they think they are.
Enemy tech is turning on.
I mean, it seems like one of the more casual-friendly games that we do have seems to be Age of Empires. I mean, a lot of people say that they go back and play Age of Empires commonly. A lot of people have fond memories of these old RTS, but are like, yeah, I just can't play StarCraft, it's too fast. It's like, well, Age of Empires can get us fast. Age of Empires can get us as hardcore and try hard. So why does it always sound like they're getting the benefit of not being super hard? And I think it has a lot to do with how their macro mechanics are set up, not the idea that you just get rid of macro mechanics. I think I won that fight.
What's crap? Coming down on enemy.
Another opponent pinched into oblivion. I pinch ya!
Units reporting damage. Units in combat. Units engaged. Units under attack.
It's gonna take a couple of days, but soon everyone, from the worst RTS player in the world to the best, are gonna learn to either expand right off the bat or choose to actually one base all in. But you can see in these games I'm the one that's expanding faster just because I know other people are like, oh yeah, I guess I'll expand. Trying to sound negative? You can sound negative. You can be negative, you can be pessimistic, you just can't be a dick. That's the rule I'm abiding by, because I'm actually quite pessimistic about this game. Is it fun to play? So, you know, these games aren't very fun because I'm just kind of wailing on people, but I will say that the game can be fun to play. If you get someone who's equally matched and you either are constantly fighting around the map or you have two different play styles because of your decks, like, it can be very interesting. But, I don't think interesting enough for me. Does it give you a visible MMR? Not that I've seen so far. I will show you a huge crab. I think the king crab is the biggest crab you can get, actually. Trying to exaggerate my RTS flaws. And don't let me build my campy base, yeah. I remember being shocked the longer games of MOBAs got so popular. Yeah, people like point to StarCraft 2's game length as if it's a problem, and I actually think that's really not right at all. I would say that the StarCraft 2 game length, especially with Legacy of the Void, is actually pretty perfect. Very rarely do you get games that go beyond 15 minutes. Age of Empires is a longer average, and MOBAs, yeah, average like 40 minutes more. Is like actually getting everyone to quit the game is also difficult. Oh, of course you can get longer games. Of course. But on average, StarCraft 2 is about 15. And that's what they use for you know, scheduling tournaments and whatnot. Sometimes it's perfect, and other times it's laughably bad, and we're there till 2 in the morning. They do like 3-hour of interlude videos in some campaign missions. They don't have campaign missions. There's no plans to have a campaign. AoE was all about building that nice little village. You know, I understand that there's a complicating factor that is, like, you don't want to have a game that is all about turtling, just because people feel safer doing it, because turtling can be very obnoxious to break. So only one person has fun at that point. But, you know, I think this is obviously just done away with that entirely. There's no turtling in this game. And I'm not sure that's really right. Yeah, we saw at least a couple games at the summit. Wow, they actually they built it immediately. Maybe this guy's a little better. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we saw a couple of games in the summit in which like Wardy, I think, and someone else had like learned that they could kind of do a siege hop, like a tank battle. A lot of the early opponents are bots. Oh, okay, so they've done like the Marvel Snap approach. Okay.
Proper showstopper. Now, I get with.
I don't know if him making a base immediately is a sign that he's a bot or not. I actually have no idea what these scorpions do, by the way. I don't recognize them.
Starting Foundry.
Bots don't expand. Oh, okay. Actually, everyone I've played against has expanded so far. Just late. Oh, shit. I wasn't actually on the build tab.
Melee combat bot ready. Surround them.
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
Crabs, one leg at a time.
Units engaged.
Break a leg. Hit on the side eye. I get with.
Oh my god, he's like trying to multitask. Oh my god.
You got us.
This guy's so good.
Are we supposed to attack?
Did you take their offer for unlocked stuff? I tried to check my emails to see if I missed something, but I've really ignored most of the updates here, so that could just be me.
Melee combat not ready.
Either didn't give me anything, or I wasn't paying attention. Hard to say.
Units under attack. Foundry ready.
I can swing. Now? Now.
Units reporting damage. Units in combat.
Crabs attacking.
Units engaged.
400, 400, my bad.
Units under attack.
No, that's too far. Gonna munch him.
Units reporting damage.
Gonna munch him.
Resource base warmed up and working.
What's crab? Hit him. Melee combat.
Units in combat.
Oh, he's got the king
Units
crabbies
engaged.
as well.
Units under attack.
King crab time. Fresh crabs. Gonna
Units reporting damage.
I wish
Units
that I
in
had the gun
combat.
bots actually.
Shuffle, hustle, go! What's crab? King crab select. Sauce fueled up.
Units engaged.
Oh my god, they derp so hard. Holy shit.
Units under attack. Units reporting damage.
Gonna munch him.
Munch,
Units
munch,
in
munch,
combat.
munch, munch, munch.
All leg. Fresh blade. Sauce fueled up. Master gonna munch him.
No, he's trapped. I've demolished a lot of his economy, so that's why I'm winning. He's also starting to rally in out of frustration, so he needs to wait and hope that I overextend, and then he there's a real like ultra popping it out of the egg element to this game where you're like, I'm gonna win, and then they're banking 2000, and it just all pops around their base.
Fresh crab. Get over here.
It's very responsive. They appear next to this base, yeah, the main. So it's the main, and there's like a person in it. So this is the base that is the most
Units
important.
engaged.
Is there a chat feature? No chatting! No! I was gonna tell him to get wrecked, nerd.
Victory.
Just kidding. I would never do that. I have monies. Should be able to fund bots. Do that right? Oh. Here we go. Mandatory in. Alright, I'll show off the gun bots. That'll be the last game. Yeah, no crabs this time, guys.
Resource base warmed up and working.
Actually, I could have shown you the all-in that the Summit found out about, but... Actually, this guy might be all-in. So these aren't even the fastest things, actually. Yeah, I forgot that there's even faster units. There's like little like twirly like scythes things that like run around. How will I ever relate to these units? Yeah, I know, right?
Get at it. Overclock. Covered ground. Overclocked. Overclock. Bound and cover. Fire, fire. Viking. Charging. Robotic infantry. Overclock. Leg actuators active. Scanning. On. Overclock. Hurry up and wait. Gunbots ready.
Units under attack.
Ah, this micro.
Position. Full auto.
Oh god, the stutter. Oh god.
Units reporting
One in
damage.
the chamber. Get out.
Units in combat.
Overclock. Triple tap. Calculating grid. Going red. Go, go, go. Reboot? No. Robotic infantry. Better cover. Kill. Scanning.
Oh Jesus. Oh god. Oh my god, the stutter. Holy shit. They mention how many keys went out? If they did, I didn't notice.
Gunbots ready.
Resource base warmed up and
Gunbots
working.
moving.
So I'm kind of playing like a Zergy style.
Enemy
You can
tech
see.
is turning on. Be ready.
Location. Loading. Contact.
Enemy is
ground.
building a resource base.
Laying down fire. Engine idling. Morale.
Okay, guys, the crabs are coming.
Grounds on target. Viking. Charging. One in the chamber.
Units
Get
engaged.
at it. Leg actuators activated. Full auto. Overclock.
Units under attack.
Position.
Is this guy having fun? Do you think he's having fun?
Units
So
reporting
there is a
damage.
deck that you can consider more of a noob-friendly deck, actually, and that is the Recall deck, which you don't get automatically, so I don't know how newbie-friendly it can be.
Gunbots
Units in combat.
But Recall is actually like,
Go.
it's not like StarCraft 2 where it's like a minute long or whatever. The Recall units can recall within like 5 seconds. Like a super fast cooldown. Yeah, I'm just overwhelming him at this point, so whatever.
Units reporting damage.
One in the chamber.
Units in combat. Starting foundry. Resource base warmed
Get
up
at
and
it.
working.
Kill. Overclock. Gunbots moving.
Units
Laying
engaged.
down fire.
Deathball seems strong in this game? No, I actually wouldn't say that.
Units under attack.
The people I'm
Units
facing are
reporting
just much
damage.
worse than me. I don't. There's no other way to put it. Can't be more polite. They're just much worse than I am. Like this guy should have had way more units. I think. Like together. You know, I don't think there's a lot of people who recognize the value of like consolidating first. And then he was also getting out multitasked. He wasn't controlling all of his crabs in every direction. And he was gonna have a little bit of trouble like always catching up to my guys, just because he had no
Every
fast
win
units
is
of his own, or like
Bravo.
a lot of range units, but yeah, when you make everything look broken because you're like beating up on, I don't know, bronze players. Feel kind of bad. The other unit that's really, really fast is this guy, the Wasp. So this guy is like what like Parting and Clem were using a lot, as well as I think maybe the Hornet. No, that's like anti-air. That's my bad. Yeah, it was mostly the Wasp. And then we had David Kim show off the Recall units to counteract the extreme multitasking that causes. Because the Wasps are so cheap and so fast. You can actually throw away so many of them. How fast do you get the currency? So I completed like the beginner package, I guess. And I got 300. Earned by participating in matches. So I guess like now I earn war credits because I'm no longer a newbie. How does supply work? There is a supply cap, I believe, but no one really gets to it. You trade out units far too quickly. So there's no supply, really. Basically, the answer is there's no supply requirements. Most people probably playing their first games too. Oh yeah, for sure. Some of them are certainly still reading the tooltips. That's what they're called. But a lot of them already had advanced units. So I would say actually maybe 1 or 2 of the guys I faced are playing their first 5 games, but most of the guys I've been playing, they've bought in at least 2 more units. So, I mean, they're at least 10 games in. I don't actually know how fast this accumulates now that I'm in the proper game. Got here. Any chance to go for schedule? No worries, dude. I'm not the place to go. Unfortunately, I didn't get any beta keys because I haven't really paid attention. I might have been able to. I just didn't pay attention. But a lot of the other streamers who are streaming it right now do have beta keys to give away. So almost like all the StarCraft people. I think Wardy must be playing it. He loves this game. Yeah, his title is Beta Keys Giveaway Later. Yeah, perfect team games with subs. Yeah.
Subscription received. Hype engine spinning up.
Have some way to give him a moment. Oh, sure, if you want to. I actually was gonna stop playing the game. Well, I have it! Tier 3! Thank you for the 27 months. I told Wardy that I've won all my games, and the game's easy peasy. Game is optimized for team play as a chance. I don't know if you could say it's optimized. I actually have yet to play team games. We can one. Is it bots? Well, Fear Dragon said the bots don't expand. I don't know if that's actually like 100% true or within a certain time limit they might. But I think I only faced like 1 person who didn't expand. So I have no idea. Someone in a 40s chat said that please put this on Steam Deck. That would be a good idea. I mean, so when we first started hearing rumors about like a potential David Kim game, the first rumor was that it was a mobile game. So we kind of, a lot of us kind of just like, really, okay, whatever, too bad. And then we played it, and again, like most of the people who went to the summit actually enjoyed it. I was one of like 5 people who were like, eh. But in my opinion, it would do very well as a mobile game. Oh, I found a teammate. Who am I playing with? Mountain Bones.
Your buddy just called in a resource. Enemy is building a resource base warmed up and working.
So we, same exact map. Well, no, not exactly same exact map. This is orange. The Fog of War changes, not just the color, but also what type of Fog of War it is on each map. I think is one of their plans anyway. Which, I know that's kind of cool, but unimportant. Oh, he has the blink boys. You might actually see him blink them.
Location.
So there's recall that like recalls to your actual base, like you would imagine, and then there's blinky boys.
Your buddy, enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
Full auto. Bound and cover. Bounds on target. Viking. Charging. Hurry up and wait. Going red. Leg actuators activated. Gun bots ready. Engine
Or are these the recall guys? Maybe they're not the blink guys. Sorry, I actually don't remember. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I got my keys. All right, well.
Enemy tech is turning on.
If you're not gonna give them away, you can give them out in this chat. Oh, I don't have any more. Oh god. Oh, it's a disaster.
Start resource base warmed up and working.
I don't have gunbot. Energy. Whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. You know what? I was gonna say I might be better off kind of base trading, but maybe not. Oh, those are the recall guys. Okay, my bad.
Resource base.
Ain't that many people going.
Resource base warmed up and working.
I feel like I'm just out multitasking these guys. Oh, what's for people? Sure.
Enemy is building a resource base.
I guess if anyone wants it, you know, let Polaris know. Don't beg. Just be like, I'm interested. So they had a siege unit right there that didn't do anything because we killed it too fast. But, yeah. That was a unit that has to siege and non-siege. It's like a defensive unit for your base as well, if I remember correctly. Like, it literally can only be placed at your base. Oh, yeah, you gotta make sure that Whispers are also on, by the way, if you want a key from Kalaris. Oh, I'm gonna kill the base. Just kidding. You know. Seems very brittle. My units? I think it's I think I like it a lot more with team games, actually. I'm already having more fun on the team games. Maybe because it feels a little closer. Well, we're definitely winning, of course, but I'd like a whisper from Polaris. Not for the beta key, just for a whisper.
Units in combat.
One fight and the other team. Again, I think it's because the other team is just much worse. Like, I don't usually toot my own horn, but I think I actually am just better than a lot of the players currently playing. And I don't think it's because I was at the summit either. Like, I guess I have to read less tooltips, I suppose, but honestly, I'm not even sure that's true because I totally forget what all these units are. I thought these were the blink guys and they were the recall guys.
Your buddy just called in a resource
But, you know,
base.
the micro mechanics that you get in StarCraft and RTS are still here. You know, concaves are good, surrounds are good. Reading the battles is obviously something that you learn with time, so I have a little more experience with that, although still not a lot. I'm kind of assuming I'll win battles. Not actually sure about that. God Gamer ZombieGrub easily annihilates these noob opponents. It's going to be my YouTube title, obviously, for when I upload this.
Victory.
Exactly, Variant. Perfect. So I got war credits because I'm now an official player, not a little babby player. Lots of opponents befuddled by my kiting, for sure. For sure. I'm sure most of the games right now are just like hoping that things work. I don't like this game. I cannot lose. That's also a great title. I haven't lost a single game so far. So I see I got 19 war credits, but I don't know what the 84 is. Oh, that is a placement. Okay. So I probably also can play a placement match for my 1v1 now that, again, I'm not a babby. I turned on the kiting option. They're looking in their settings right now. Where's that? Where is it? Kalaris, I don't know if you saw or you already know this, but the first time I opened it, I was playing the tutorial and I tried to focus fire workers, and it kept on, like, not doing it. Like, literally, it would just ignore my command. So I was like, okay, what the hell? And I went into settings for a different reason, and I saw that enable focus fire is turned off by default. And I spent about 30 minutes ranting about how that's a bad idea. I don't know. Right here. Enable focus fire. That was off when I was playing the tutorial. You can skip the tutorial? I didn't know you could skip it. Why is it even an option? Oh, here comes another 30-minute rant. No, it's because they imagine, you know, these newbie players coming in, just like StarCraft 2. In StarCraft 2, clicking on your opponent's units and buildings is not automatically toggled on. If you're a new player to StarCraft 2 and you're told to like click on a unit to see what upgrades they have or what the building is as it's building, you can't do it. And it's because they think, okay, a new person comes in, they click on another unit, and then they're confused because, and to be fair, there are a lot of people who are very unfamiliar with RTS mechanics. They actually cannot comprehend a top-down game to begin with. It's very true. That definitely exists. I still think, even though that there's going to be some of those confuddled moments for new RTS players, the worst thing you can do is give them an option, or not give them, well, give them an option but turn it off by default, when the environment around video games is so much about the community and the social media and YouTube and friends drawing you in when you don't really want to play it, but the friends want you to. And when all those things happen, at very few points are they going to even remember that you can't click on enemy units. So the friend is like, come play 4v4s with us. Like, it's going to be great. It's going to be a fun time. Hey, can you send your probe out? Like, maybe you could do some scouting because you're not very good. You can't do anything else. Okay, what do they have? We click on it. Why can't you click on it? It doesn't make any sense. You can click on units. What do you mean you can't click on units? What? Why can't you click on units? And then a lot of people don't even know that's the base setting anymore. So a lot of people, especially if they come and go in StarCraft, might be like, what the fuck is happening? My opinion. They unlocked my account in units. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So in my mind, you know, focus fire is a pretty ubiquitous term, right? Like, it's going to be used a lot. And it's used all over video games, is my extra problem with it. You know, the focus fire exists in every single game. Pretty sure. And so when people are like, focus fire it, and then they try to focus fire, and they can't, the unit literally doesn't even, like, respond. It, like, ignores your command, actually. That I think is actually far more confusing. Almost certainly, guys. Almost certainly they're gonna allow real money unlocks. You know, you buy the war credits or whatever.
Called in a resource base warmed up and working.
But, yeah. I mean, some people are, you know, they're pointing out their perspective and just agree to disagree type situation. That's fine. Mana T? That's not Mana. Oh, I'm playing against my, my old, partner. Let's see how good he is.
Infantry unit operational. One in the chamber. Go get at it.
Yeah, I think people are totally fine with being able to buy war credits as long as you can also get war credits by not paying. So my guy is once again the recall units, which means, you know, theoretically our 2v2 strategy could be just a me offense, him defense. Wouldn't be too bad. When is the Carbot scan? That would actually be amazing. So the other guy, other team also has recall. And you can see how fast the recall is. Like, that was actually another group of units, but nonetheless. So the recall kind of takes away my entire strategy. So I'm going to actually tech because I'm being rebuffed pretty quickly. But I'm still going to make them obviously work for their bases so they don't attack us. It only takes 86 weeks to unlock, yeah. Of course that happens and no one likes that. What does the unit do into the focus fire? Yeah, it just was targeting enemy units by default. So I had, like, focus fired the building, and it would always attack the brand new unit that was created. Or I focus fired the workers, and then... Oh, no, there was no units, so it started to attack the workers, even though I told it to focus fire the command center. It was very confusing and very annoying. Designing trash cans is difficult because of an overlap between the dumbest horse and the smartest bear. I do like that comparison. No, I understand. You know, I kind of preface this whole thing with, like, I understand they're trying to cover their asses for the newbies, the people who have literally never played a top-down video game in their life. They don't like MOBAs, they don't like RTS, they play anything but shooters. And it's like, okay.
Starting advanced foundry.
Oh, air units. I'm playing against people who actually know what they're doing, guys.
Units under attack.
Do I have anti-air units? I don't fucking know.
Units, enemy tech is turning. Units in
Yes, I do.
combat.
We're okay.
Units engaged. Units under attack. Units.
Oh, and they got
damage.
the siege. They got the guys who actually leave the base. Very important distinction.
Reload command. Fire at home.
Are they here?
Units in combat.
Hunter selected. Okay, we can.
Enemy is building a resource base.
Yes, you can see what the other team is unlocked.
Is this the right? Rushing death.
Advanced foundry ready.
I am getting my ass kicked by the air units, I think.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm gonna lose my first game. Oh, God.
Okay, we can do it. Another location? Oh,
Wait.
are we ready?
I think that just died. I have no idea. Yes, it just died. And this is my second ranked game, actually. I don't know how to kill these guys. I guess I needed a more advanced anti-air unit than what I had.
Anti-air warlock.
Enemy is building a
'Cause, I
resource
mean,
base.
They're getting fucking demolished. So in order to get air, you do need to get to a Starforge.
Are they here?
This guy's building guys that don't really help. And say that we lost.
You gotta
Does the escape key deselect or open the menu? F1 is menu. I should turn off focus fire in StarCraft 2. The amount of times I've lost games because I accidentally click on an opponent's unit. Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, that's one way to approach it. You're not wrong. Yeah, I think I would say, you know, one thing they could do, which we've already suggested, is to, in the tutorial, point out the option to either focus fire or not focus fire. And then fine, have a toggle. They also could have, like, a little, like, bubble or something that pops up. I don't know, something that's not going to ruin your gameplay experience, but when you try to focus fire, and then the units derp, to be like, hey, did you mean to focus fire? You don't have that on. Because right now, if you were just a focus fire out of habit, because you played any other game in the world, your units don't just, like... I don't know, like, the units don't... It makes the units unreliable in their behavior. There we go. It makes the units unreliable in their behavior when you try to focus fire and you can't do it. So I think that's really the real problem that I have with it right now. Is that it's not like, oh, I tried focus firing, it didn't work, and everything else moves very smoothly. It's I tried focus firing, and the units just completely disobeyed my command and focus on something else entirely. And it's like, you don't want that in the game. You want units to behave as expected. So even if someone's, like, A-moving on the ground, and then they accidentally A-move onto a unit, that will cause derpiness, apparently. That's not good. The game needs a clippy, yeah. Hey there, did you mean to win this game? You fucking suck. Uno mas. Have you guys been paying attention to the Dr. Disrespect stuff? I'm not really into the Twitch sphere, but I saw like vague tweets that I didn't realize was about that. And then the casters were posting about it in a group chat. I mean, his first tweet was already like, bro, that doesn't help you. What, boy. Who told you to make that tweet? That was a dumb idea. And then he just doubled down on it. The doubling down of the, yes, it happened, but it's not as bad as it sounds or whatever. Like, what was the phrase that he used? Like, I forget. But it was just so, it was like it was trying to be lawyer speak, except it just damned him entirely. Nobody proved nothing is an excellent defense. Yeah. I didn't do nothing wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found, and I was paid, which is an attempt to say, like, because I didn't break the contract, so it's not as bad. But I don't know. Adding the whole was found. You know, there's no wrongdoing was done, and there's no wrongdoing was found, and it's like. Do I have the giant squid unit? No. He said acknowledged. He either changed his tweet or something, because I just looked at a screenshot that was posted. I was reading it. He then made another tweet, which maybe that's where he said acknowledged. He did like a more comprehensive tweet. I want to apologize to everyone. I sat down. I can tell you my side. Twitch whisper message with an individual minor. Yes. Was there real intentions behind these messages? No. Casual and mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed, and I never met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by settlement. It wasn't a criminal case, and no criminal charges have been brought against me. From a moral standpoint, I'll take responsibility.
Resource enemy is building a resource base.
G1.
Uh-oh, we're both doing the same thing.
Gunbox ready. Location loading.
Never entertain these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's as me as an adult. I mean...
Laying down fire.
I actually did not initially read that this actually happened back in 2017. And then his ban came in 2020. The real trouble is, you know, wanting to believe that there are no bad people in the world.
Enemy tech is turning
Wanting
on.
to give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Get at it. Bang, bang, overclock. Overclock. Overclock.
And realizing that someone could still, you know, actually do it.
Position.
Enemy tech is turning on.
Let me unrestrict you there, buddy. There you go, trumpet.
Units reporting damage.
I think what people really thought was damning, besides his, like, use of words that wasn't very good. I think what also people thought was like, okay, that's it, that's the nail in the coffin, is that his own company let him go. He says that it was like a mutual tough decision, but...
Hurry up and wait. Better cover. Gunbox ready. Rounds on target.
Gotta get in here, man. I gotta help out.
Contact. Location. Loading. Laying down fire. Covering ground. Engine idle.
Resource base warmed up and
Throwing red. Found and cover.
Oh, no, that was the wrong one. Oh, fuck me. Okay, well, if they have air coming out, I'm gonna be really prepared. Oh, fuck. He's got the big boy.
Sure? Are you sure?
That's not mine. Just kidding. It kind of looks green, but it's not.
On the
Foundry ready.
Dude, you gotta avoid these fuckers. God damn it, I did it again!
ready?
Oh my god, it's definitely green! Right? Like, I'm not crazy.
Fire. Are they here? Move, shoot, cover. Target saturate. Understood. Wait, where? Are you sure?
I don't like how weak-willed these anti-air units are. Are you sure? I'm really, I don't know.
Your buddy just called in a resource base. Starting Starforge.
You know what? Let's go ahead and get some air units. I don't usually play around with them, but
Resource base
it might be
warmed up
helpful. I
and
don't know. We'll find out.
Enemy is building a resource base.
New position.
Enemy is building a resource base.
So they actually haven't expanded all that much yet, which means they have a very, very big army.
Come on in, boys.
So that's exciting. It's coming at us right now. I don't think we should actually attack. And there's no way to communicate. Oh my god. I think we should just let that base go. Oh my god, let the base go. Fuck is they. Oh!
You got a resource. Workers under
Wow, that
attack.
fucking wrecked me. I'm waiting for air units. But there's no way for me to communicate, right? Like there's no pings, there's no anything. Well, that's a problem.
Cover it.
Because if we give up that base and then I get air units,
Enemy tech is turning
anti-air
on. Be
air
ready.
unit, that's not what I need. Okay, I need a butterfly. I need S. We're gonna pump out S's and see if we can
Starforge is
win.
ready.
Get us together.
We are here to fight. Born of air.
Okay, what shoots up in that army? Because I don't fucking know. Air units! Fuck yeah! Fuck you!
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
We are so ready.
Get riggedy wrecked.
Fresh blades. Moving into melee.
Units engaged.
Advanced Starforge.
Starting advanced Starforge.
My buddies.
Fresh crabs. Crown of destruction.
Your units under attack. Units reporting damage.
Jesus.
Gunbox ready. Fire, fire. Overclocked.
Resource base warmed up and working.
Drill. Kill. Overclocked. Gunbox ready. Triple tap.
Units in combat.
Get us together. What's crap?
There we go.
One in the chamber. Location. Fresh crabs.
Ah, I made the wrong unit.
Advanced Starforge is complete.
Get at it. Bounds on point. Bound and cover. Overclock. Contact.
Okay, versatile durable air unit. I don't know what that
Enemy
means.
is
Does it
building a
attack the
resource
ground?
base.
I don't know.
You got a resource base taking fire. Cover it.
Robotic infantry.
Units engaged.
Oh my god, this thing actually obliterates these units. Jesus,
You got a
criminy
resource base
crisis.
taking fire. Cover it. Workers getting flanked. Units
Yeah,
under
that's gone.
attack. Your resource.
If only I
base
could
is
expand in a direction that I would prefer, but no. What do you do?
Position.
Starting advanced
zero
enemy
idea.
units reporting damage.
Above ground. Backing.
Shoots anything? Probably. You guys are probably right.
84.
If only one teammate core dies? That's a good question. I have zero idea. Wow, you sucked. I don't know what the fuck you were supposed to do, but that wasn't good. That sucked balls. I don't understand.
Engine idle. Fire, fire. Let agitators happen. Kill.
You got a resource base taking fire. Cover it.
Yeah, we're pretty dead. The tech swap saved us for a little while, but
Taking fire. Cover it. Advanced foundry ready.
Ah, God. Okay, this actually is a problem.
Destroyed.
Let's go.
What are you guys? I have no idea.
Come on now, y'all.
I don't know what that guy was doing, but I'm not very impressed. 400, 400.
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready. Keep your head up and bounce back.
No. Team games look more interesting than 1v1. I think they are. I'm having more fun with 2v2s, but I'm not going to keep my head up. I'm not going to... That was Battle Aces. Yeah. It's a game. I would never call it an RTS. I firmly believe that if this had never been touted as an RTS, that they did not invite us to an RTS summit developed by RTS creators, a game that they call an RTS, I firmly believe if it was just a random game on Steam that people happen to pass by, they would have never called it an RTS. No one can dissuade me. No matter how much they try. What do you think of Line War as an RTS? I have played that, but a very long time ago, so I'm not sure. But I don't call Footman Frenzy an RTS, and that's really, I think, the closest thing to it. Yeah, the important thing here, really, the important thing is that it doesn't matter if it's an RTS or not, really. Okay, this is kind of like the discussion about whether or not wrestling is fake that plagued the 90s, where there actually were pretty big repercussions that it wasn't, that it was considered fake, or it wasn't considered fake, or it was a sport, it wasn't a sport. There are some more real world repercussions there, but ultimately it doesn't matter. It still bothers me that that's the selling point, because it really shouldn't be. To me, it really shouldn't. To me, that this is like a bait and switch, and so that's why I was pretty bummed when I went to the summit. And obviously, playing a game and you're like, "Oh, this is what I expected," and you uninstall, it's not a big deal. I guess I call it a battle arena. I think that's actually the genre I would refer to it as, battle arena. You underestimate people's ability to argue. I don't think I do, actually, because, you know, I kept on saying this at the summit and people were very much trying to... not convince me that's an RTS, but basically there were very long conversations about what being an RTS really means. Because it is a very, very wide genre term. There's so many different types of RTSs. My end defense that most people seem to agree with, or at least let the subject drop after it, is that if you were to go and click the RTS genre on Steam to look for a new RTS to play, you would be very deceived by this game. You go into it and be like, oh, this is not at all what I wanted from an RTS. But maybe I like the game. That could happen. It just, first instinct would be like, this isn't, why was this under the RTS genre? And I think that's pretty true. You ever play Tooth and Tail? I have. Yeah, not much. I actually played it at TwitchCon before Artie got into it. Oh, so did you ever reach the end timer? We had like 2 games, I think, that reached the end timer at the summit. Driving to the store is RTS. It's real time and there's strategy involved. The ace that you play as will come with different... Oh, you mean like the commander guy? I really don't think it's part of their plan. I mean, they can obviously do whatever they want once the game releases. I think Dota is also under the RTS tab. That's completely fair. I'm sure there's a lot of things that probably shouldn't be under that tab, but my thing still works. I don't know what to call it. My thing still kind of works, though, because it is exactly like if you went to RTS and you saw Dota and you were like... and you move on. And does it really matter? No. No, it doesn't. It just... Yeah, I think I think continuing to advertise an RTS and really draw in all of these, like, RTS elements that are, you know, like the people who made it are RTS people. The people that they're trying to get to publicize their game are largely RTS people. Like, there's a lot of RTS involved that isn't true, in my opinion. And it's not I'm not gonna say it's something like they're using our goodwill. I don't no, not at all. Like, they're very nice people. They think it's a good game. They perceived it as a more basic RTS and whatever. I totally disagree, but whatever. But I do think it's a little weird. I do. It's like, here's all these RTS people, 2 people who aren't RTS. There's like a journalist and someone else. And there's like a heart. There's Trump was there and stuff like that. But anyway, and you're gonna, you know, advertise it as like this is the other RTS that might be able to take over. This is the also. I think what actually bothers me, you know, I'm trying to say these things don't really matter overall because they really don't. But the thing that actually does bother me is that they are continuing. They're not they're continuing to be fair. I haven't paid attention. At the summit, when they're describing what it is, they didn't just say this is an RTS and we're hoping it's good and we're hoping that people like it. They said this is the next evolution of RTS. And that actually does bother me. And it's not malicious. It's not ill intent. It just, again, I used the analogy before. If you weren't here for it, I used the wine grape analogy. It's like getting into wine making and inviting all the winemakers. And then when they get to the winemaking summit, they're like, we took away all of the fermentation. And instead, we just put the grapes in sugar and water and hand it to you. And all the winemakers are like, well, I get, you know, it is kind of good. It's a great grape juice. Okay, but it's not, why were we, not wine. I don't understand. And that I don't like, but it's not malicious or anything. I think that's actually a really bad approach. Do I know what the intelligence bar is? No. And not only are they like, you know, this is wine, don't tell us differently. They're saying, well, no, you're kind of right, but it's because this is the next evolution of wine. Because not enough people like wine. Because far more people will buy grape juice on the grocery counter, whatever it's called, shelf. There we go. And you're like, sure. You know, you're right. There's probably, I don't actually know this for a fact, but if you told me that grape juice sells more than wine, I'd be like, okay, whatever, I guess. You know, there's a lot of kids. But it, you know, you don't get to call it that. Anyways, it's so unimportant, you know, and I really don't want to try and make it seem like they're bad people or anything. That was an incredible disappointment for me because not only were I was getting this information, I was being told what I like about RTS is what most people dislike about it, which I didn't like and I didn't agree with, and I think is actually coming to a head at this point. I think a lot of people on the internet are agreeing with me, so I feel very validated. But that so many of my friends and colleagues were also totally ready to jump on board this next evolution. And upon further discussion with some of them, they clarified. They're like, "Oh no, absolutely not. It's not really an RTS. Like, you know, an angle on the wordage, whatever. But you know, it's a fun game you can play off to the side, and that is totally fine. But when I had a bunch of people telling me that like this is not what's good about RTS, we're going to completely change RTS, and then everyone around me who I thought really appreciated what I appreciate was also like, "Yep, this is great." I felt very, very bad about myself in my future. So. I'm a little biased here. But why would you call it an RTS? Because it technically is real-time strategy without any kind of other expectation about what RTS is? I feel like that's... Again, unimportant, but I feel like it's kind of... It's trying to sell itself as something that I truly believe it isn't. And that, I guess, just bothers me. It'd be like if a company, let's use a really big company. It'd be like if Microsoft made a CSGO copy to combat with CSGO, CS2, sorry, and Valorant. And they invite all of the CS people and all the Valorant people to their summit. And then the game is actually Smite. The game is like... No, not Smite. No, not Smite. That's not the one I was thinking of. The game is like a MOBA with first-person shooter. So you still have like lanes and clearing of lanes. It was Paladins? I know there was a game that did this. It was like a first-person shooter, but with lanes and MOBA ideology. It'd be like if that happened. And it's not bad that they get to experience this game and that they still call it a tac shooter. That would be the general genre name, right? It's a tactical shooter. It's not wrong. There's tactics and it's shooting. But why are you trying to appeal to this section of people? Is it because you truly believe they give you the best possible feedback? Or is it because you're hoping to lean on the goodwill of the community members you have invited, and or you're leaning towards the genre that has the most popularity? So you see all the popularity of the tac shooters, and you're like, if we call something a tactical shooter, and no one can argue it's not, we're going to get a bunch of people who are going to be like, oh, fuck yeah, new tactical shooter. Let's go. And it's not. And then it's like, well, technically, excuse you. It's not my favorite way of approaching this, is what I guess I can say to summarize it. I'd be extremely surprised if grape juice was more than wine. Yeah, that's why I was kind of taking back that statement. I don't think that actually is true, but whatever. It's certainly a more niche thing. Like, you have to be older, obviously. To a certain extent, people who like wine are generally really older. They're not 21 and immediately drinking wine, right? You turn 21, you got vodka shots and shit. It's also like a rich person thing for a lot of people. Obviously, there's people out there who enjoy a good box of wine, and it's totally fine, but it is considered a snooty thing. Like, in terms of the perception of wine and RTS, I actually think it's quite similar. Not that we're rich, but just that we're, pinkies out, tea sipping type of people who think our game is the best and no one else can compare. The Soul games are action RPGs, but so is Diablo. It's true. Real-time and strategy is a very low bar in a literal sense. Yes, and this is why you could discuss at length, it being an RTS or not. I know that there's the definition and then there's the connotation. And the definition can apply to literally everything, apparently, except games that have pauses. So no pause games, and everything else is an RTS. But then the connotation, the thing that people think of when they think of RTS, is definitely not this. I don't living off any games, so I'm not overly precious with terms. Again, to be super clear, no one else gives a crap about this distinction. It's just me. And I really don't... I think it could be as simple as that action RPG comparison, where you're right. Souls is very different than Diablo, but they're both considered the same genre. But then you do have the kind of sub-tag genre that is Souls action RPG. And that's what people refer to it now. Souls-like RPG. Souls-like action RPG. And so it could be as simple as being like, hey, this is an RTS, but we're going to call it Fast Action RTS, which they did. And then it became the acronym FARTS, so that didn't really work. But again, to me, it's not that they're like, this is an RTS, have fun with it, and we all have fun with it, and no one cares it's called an RTS. My problem was that they were trying to convince us that this was the next generation of RTS. That's what bothered me. In their mind, they have cut out everything people like about the RTS game that you think of when you hear RTS. And they think that's a good thing. And that makes me very sad, because if they're right, and there's a chance they're right, although it doesn't seem to be that way, then I am a fucking fossil. And I don't like being a fossil. And people will be like, oh, you know, Brood War players in like StarCraft 2, and you know, people are just, they hate new things, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, calm down. This is obviously something that is incredibly different. So just stop with that fucking comparison. I hate reading that one. I can understand it for the Stormgate criticism, if people want to be like, hey, Brood War people didn't like StarCraft 2 either. But this is just so different. Relatively small percentage of the population drink alcohol regularly. Yeah, like you know what? We could literally Google what is drunk more, because there was a lot of problems with the analogy that I was thinking of. I was like, well, you know, wine is actually pretty popular. You know, I certainly know a lot of people who drink wine, but then again, you have to be like 21 to drink it in America. Oh, you know, French people drink it all the time, even when they're teenagers. What is drunk more, wine or grape juice? The hot dog in RTS. Either make an RTS, but stuck in the unit balance editor. Figure something crazy and call it Unreal Time Strategy. Is a difficult game called itself Souls-like just because it was difficult? I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't know. Probably. The Zoomers and Gen Alpha will prove me wrong. It could happen. I'm not disagreeing. Okay, so the first thing that popped up when I Googled this was, why is wine more popular than grape juice? But they didn't actually have a source for it being more popular. I actually don't know how to Google this. You can't just put grape juice versus wine, because that's just... Is grape juice more popular than wine? There we go. Why is grape wine the most popular of all fruit? No, why do people drink wine instead of grape juice? Jesus make wine or grape juice? Oh my god. Did Jesus make wine or grape juice? The evidence is considerable that Jesus actually produced non-alcoholic, unfermented wine of the highest quality. First, the term wine in biblical times could refer to fermented or unfermented drink. Hey, I'm learning. Okay, so I'm going to have to look up sales of wine in the world. And sales of grape juice in the world. Market size for grape juice. Okay. Global wine trade is showing hallmark signs of inflationary pressure, with sales reaching a record figure of $37.6 billion in 2022. NFC grape juice market size was valued at US $89 billion in 2023. So it's possible this is incorrect all over the place because I'm not really doing a lot of journalism here, but it seems. Well, no, that isn't right. That's not right. In general, the juice market was valued at 130.6 billion. Requested song requests. I'm playing Theater Rhythm right now. Is Zero Space Campaign, which is supposed to be under the MMO Lite category. Well, there's another conundrum. Everything that you play against another person is a massively multiplayer online game. There are so many, like, the whole, like, is alcohol, was wine good for you or not, has had so many back and forth research done. It's terrible for you. It's great for you. It's terrible for you. It's great for you. I gotta say, I have not drunk much grape juice in the last 25 years in my life. I don't remember the last time I had grape juice was. Probably, do those barrel juices count? Because I'm pretty sure there was actually no fruit in that. Did anyone else have the, like, I don't even know what they're called, but they're literally like plastic barrels with like a tinfoil kind of top thing? Yeah, I think I had that at like a football game in middle school. That counts. And I think I've had sparkling grape juice, actually, more recently. And I don't drink wine that much. I gotta say, I've probably drunk more wine in the last 10 years. Yeah, well, I think that is true. No level of alcohol consumption is safe. I am a believer of that. That's my baseline expectation for alcohol. And I ignore it and still drink it. You know what else is bad for you? Everything. It's all about balance. Exactly. I only have meth once a week. Balance. Don't do meth, kids. I didn't know it was considered a carcinogen. I did know that. I don't remember when I learned that, but so is burnt meats. If you like your meat burnt a little, congratulations. You are getting stomach cancer. It's taking meth and RTS. It's in real time, and there is some strategy involved. Quite correct. Anyhow, moving on. I was interrupted casting the GSL Group A, a round of 8 Group A, because thunderstorm knocked out my electricity on Friday. So we are going to complete that. Fortunately, it also interrupted me halfway in a series, but I'm going to play an ad, and I'll be right back. And we're casting, I think it's the TVT, Cure versus Beyond. Irby. All right. Perfectly timed. Wine is 22 billion liters. Grape is 1.5. Thank you. Finally. Decisive answer. Wine is way more popular. To me, Battle Aces is already a finished game. I think it's a game that is basically ready for release. Sure, there's a lot of other stuff that I don't know about that I want to include. And it's a game that a lot of people will enjoy. It plays very nice. It is short, and yeah, I think for what they wanted to do, it's very good. It just not something I'm actually interested in. You know, you don't see me playing and talking a lot about other games that are also good in their particular genre and appeal to people. Like, I don't talk about Paladins or Smite, but for what they do, apparently people like it. I also think it really needs some PvE content. I think that actually is just, it goes hand in hand with the RTS genre. And I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's something that you're like, shouldn't. Shooters don't go hand in hand with a campaign. Why do RTS have to? Because you get so much more personality in like a shooter. You can get more personality in a shooter, exactly like Valorant and Overwatch did. CS actually is kind of an outlier. You know, basically only multiplayer and custom games and no campaign. The amount of modifications you can do is very limited. You know, you don't have people with like green hair running around in CS. That is an outlier, but then again, it's definitely one of the lightning in a bottle games. But I think, you know, I think baseline, like at the very basis of any idea here, if you're thinking I'm only going to make a multiplayer game without anything else, you're already taking a very big chance. You're already taking a very big risk. Just because it worked out for a couple of games out there doesn't mean that it always does, obviously. With the ones that I do think that it worked out for, most of them have a lot of customization and choices and aesthetic, basically. You know, again, CS doesn't. Valorant, Overwatch, Apex, people love the characters, people love the design, people love learning about the concept art, people love whenever a new character is introduced, people love that they can feel like they're seen because they're also a, you know, really kick-ass lady who can carry around a shotgun and a rocket launcher, no problem. People want that. What they don't necessarily want is to be in charge of a bunch of craps. To a certain extent, it is kind of funny. That's, so far is a positive. But I don't know how long it goes. I don't know how many people look at Battle Aces and it's like, oh, fuck yeah, crabs. This is so popular that being popular makes it popular, kind of. You really can't disregard the 20-plus years of history that it has. I mean, its real magic was that it's kept its popularity despite the transformation that video games have gone through in the decades. So it was a very hardcore game, and a game that was hard to get into, I would say, and a game that you had to actually look outside of the game that was given to you to actually play because of, like, map hacking and stuff, right? Back in the old CS days. So they already had that base of people that love that type of game but wouldn't really fly if that was the game you sold today. And then when the next generation of games came out, they still were able to keep riding the wave. A lot because of gambling and loot boxes, but that counts. I think the Battle Aces team does plan on having more cool stuff. Like little animations and